Senator John C. Danforth, a senior statesman at Missouri Republicans, a strong backer of Hawley, called the president a challenging force in this race. Voters, he said, object to him on the basis of his style and demeanor and the way he talks and acts towards people. So that makes sense. Midwestern people don't like his demeanor. It happens. All right. Okay. So who knows? We'll see. All right, but coming up next, a 13-year-old boy and other Yemen civilians were killed in U.S. drone strikes this month. That's next. This is the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Your show will return in just 4 minutes.
Pendo on the beat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us here today. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get to, obviously. All right, so there's that, and a 13-year-old boy and other Yemeni civilians were killed in U.S. drone strikes this month. So, yeah, one of the toughest issues, obviously, today 13-year-old Amar Ali Sakwara Huridan and his cousin were on their way home visiting relatives in Al Hudi, a small town in the eastern Yemeni province of Hadramaut. As they drove along a desert highway, around 4 p.m. local time, U.S. drone circled overhead. Somewhere thousands of miles away, the drone operator launched a strike. So this is 13-year-old who's coming home. Amer and his cousin were on the way home visiting relatives in Al Hudi. They're very bad guys, right? They're the problem. A short time later, Amar's cousin Hassan awoke to fire and smoke rising from the mangled pickup truck and heard the buzz of the drone overhead. He had wounds on his right hand, leg, and head. Chunks of shrapnel would later be removed from his body, but Amer was barely recognizable. The strike had charred his body and torn it to pieces, killing him instantly. In a phone interview with The Intercept, Hassan said the first responders were reluctant to come to the scene because they were concerned about a possible second strike by the drone that still hovered overhead. He and his family have been left wondering how the U.S. military mistook a fifth grader for a militant. He was too young to join any militant groups, Hassan said. Amer Salah Huridan, the younger Amer's uncle, told The Intercept there's no link with Al-Qaeda whatsoever. If you look at the picture of this boy, he literally has a face the size of, if you put your fingers out, if you put your hand out, and you, curved your fingers in a little bit, this is how big, you could literally, he looks like the youngest kid ever. I don't really know how to describe it. The article here is in The Intercept this morning, and it is quite a picture. It's quite a way to visualize this whole situation. As this dude gets killed like this, it's really, really quite bad. So it looks like Hassan was driving. So that's tough. So anyway, the 7 people killed in the strikes on March 7th and March 9th, according to members of the Al-Mahashima tribe, to which all of the dead belonged. Independent sources on the ground in Yemen, as well as the international rights group Reprieve, confirmed the tribe members' counts. The victims, they noted, were poor-placed people displaced from the Al-Jawaf province, their lives upended by fighting that had raged on since 2014. None of them affiliated with the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, known as ACAP, the sources said. So, this is pretty much just innocent people trying to live their lives, and there is just nothing there here for them. They're just, the only opportunity is to get out, but oh wait, they're terrorists back in, if they try to go to Europe, so it's not working for them. It's if you look at the pieces of this, pieces on this, you look at videos on this, they say they fear the blue skies. They fear the blue skies with a little bit of clouds in the air because, who knows, a drone could be hovering up there and there's no way of knowing. The blue skies scare people, scare little kids, scare 13-year-old kids in Yemen like this. How are we okay with this? As a people, we just want to say, okay, yeah, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with people just getting, they only like it when it's gray because that means the drones won't fly. They know it's gray or raining. The drones, that means they won't fly because it's a life or death game for these people every single solitary day. Even if you're 13, you'll be killed in this kind of a drone strike. This is how worrying it is. Ugh, it's just, can we stop it, please? Oh, and Obama, he did way, I don't know the exact number here, so that's why it sounds really unscientific, but he did way more drone strikes than the Bush presidency ever did, and they actually were on the ground. But yeah, drone strikes, silent but deadly, I'll tell you. Jesus. Anyway, yeah. So 2 days after Amir was killed, a name named Saleh Al-Wahir stood at the top of a hill in Al Hudi, looking for cell service to make a call. Bad idea, because at around 5 p.m., a missile came flying down and killed him, according to a member of his family and independent observers in Yemen. Because the area was targeted twice in 2 days, tribe members drove out to Al Hudi to urge residents to relocate to a safer place. On March 9th, half a dozen members of the tribe, 3 of them adult children of Abdullah Al-Kibi Wuhair, a local tribe leader, and 3 of them his adult grandchildren, were driving back to Marib when a drone targeted an area called Al-Abir. All 6 of them were killed. So yeah, that was, these are innocent people. These are people who will not do anything bad. If we need better information. You know what? I shouldn't have even said that. We need to stop these strikes. They're ridiculous. They're not even working. It's just an excuse to make more missiles, make more money for the defense contractors, and drop more drones. This is if you want to be so sad about how the worst humanitarian crisis is in Yemen, and you want to ask for help with it, that's great. How about you ask the U.S. government to stop creating? They are adding significantly, if not they are, the problem. There's Saudi strikes, there's U.S. strikes. I mean, it's amazing. All the victims were of displaced families who had nothing to do with terrorism and are living under difficult conditions in tents. Bara Siban, a reprieve caseworker who tweeted about Amer's killing the day after it happened. So yeah, it's if you want to follow her on Twitter, that's got to be a pretty rough follow there. The U.S. Central Command has conducted 6 strikes against ACAP in Yemen this month, all in the Hadramaut government in coordination with the government of Yemen. CENTCOM spokesperson Earl Brown said in response to the questions from The Intercept, when reports of Ammar's death first surfaced in Yemen, he said he would have been killed in Marib. He was said to have been killed in Marib, but it later became clear that the strike took place in Hadramaut, and as he was returning to Marib, he was en route to Marib. But Brown did not respond to questions about the details of the strikes, including the victims and the dates. As they comment specifically about Amer's death, he said, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We take these allegations seriously and are further looking into this matter." Apparently not, because you keep doing the same goddamn thing. So the Saudi-led war against Iran-aligned Houthi rebels in Yemen entered its 4th year on Monday, September 2014. The Houthis kind of seized control of the capital city, Sana'a, pushing out President Abdurabu Mansour Hadi. 6 months later, a coalition led by Saudi Arabia and supported by the U.S. launched a military campaign to restore Hadi to power. The coalition has bombed civilian centers, sparked a cholera outbreak, and pushed millions of people to the edge of famine, creating one of the worst, if not the worst, humanitarian crises out there today. So, yeah, how prosecutors punish people with underserving plea deals. That is now, and I hate to be kind of a little bit of interruptus there, but yeah, we are very close to being done with the show, and I do want to get to the story. So, anyway, yeah, really tough situation in Yemen. I mean, those stories, they're not fun to do. They're not fun to talk about, but they're very, very important, because people need to understand what the heck is going on in Yemen, and how people are just, the people of Yemen are just really getting screwed. So, yeah, Obina Nawankapa was not a violent man. We'll just call him Obina. Oh, he was a very violent man, actually. I misspoke. Specifically, he was violent towards women. In 2011, he was convicted of domestic violence in Illinois. In December 2014, Nawankpa was charged with domestic violence against another woman in Anoka County. Obina and Nawankpa, I'll probably be using them interchangeably, are the same person here. 2 months later, he pled guilty to interfering with a 911 call, and he was given 2 years probation in order to get domestic abuse counseling and treatment. Then on July 2nd, 2015, just months after his latest domestic violence arrest, a third woman, Natalie Pollard, this time in St. Paul, Minnesota, called 911 to report Obina had broken into her home through a window. According to local press, Obina was intoxicated at the time. He had been dating Pollard on and off for months. This was not her first time calling the police on him, but her 4th, and will also be the last, because Natalie Pollard, with 4 young children upstairs at home, said Obina had been beating and fighting her all over the house. She was pregnant herself at the time and decided to protect herself. In the melee, she claimed that she stabbed the man in self-defense. By the time he got there, he was bleeding and breathing his last breaths. In that moment, and every moment since, Pollard, with no criminal record, expressed remorse, but she said she only did what she did